everybody. I wanted to take a minute and show you a couple of things that I'm doing. I've been metal detecting for a bunch of hours now and learned a few things, both on YouTube videos and just in field experience. What I've done is I've dug about a 5-inch plug in the ground here, and it's clear. There's no debris here or anything. And we're going to take a few items and we're gonna detect them in this plug, and I want to show you some things that I do to try and help determine whether or not I'm going to dig. So the first thing that we're going to do is a wetting ring. This is a tungsten wetting ring. So I'm going to put this down in the hole and replace the plug, and should pick it up. Okay. At this point it's coming in as a bottle cap. Now at this point I'm thinking it might be good because it's pretty constant. I'm going to raise it up. This is what you do for aluminum. See, it's aluminum, not aluminum. And this is something that I've learned in the field that's helped a little bit. What I do is I just wiggle the head. And it'll anchor in on the kinds of metal that you want. It'll stay pretty consistent. So that one's jumping around a little bit, but it is tungsten. It's not actually gold, silver, or coin. And it's a pretty large piece of metal. So that's what it did on that one. We'll change it out to another item. We'll go with a silver ring, which I have here. We'll try that one. It's ringing in as actually ringing in a little bit different than what I would think it would. It's coming in as a nickel. Coming in as a nickel. Static test, not moving. You might want to dig that one. You might not. Let's try a quarter.
Oh, that's gonna go there.
See what it does? It's right there. I mean, it's nailing it on a quarter. The height test doesn't seem like aluminum. The jiggle test leaves it right there in the silver area, right around a corner of 50-cent piece. So I'd dig that in a heartbeat. No fluctuation at all. Let's try a penny.
Penny.
Got a penny here. Actually, I got a dime. It's handy. Use that first. Little dime. Coming in as a dime. Jiggle test is right in there. And no show on the height test. Again, I would dig that one in a heartbeat. Here's a Sacagawea dollar. Again, it passed the test. So, coins, they tend to anchor up in the scale where you would feel like it's a solid piece of metal. We're going to try some trash items here. This is the can off of a Vienna sausage. It's got the tab attached. It's real reflective. I'm going to set that down in there. See how it's different. Now a lot of times these will read as something valuable. Coming in as a penny. Now here's a test that I learned. to set the actual machine down. And if it responds without moving, it might be reflective material like aluminum, and it's doing that. Now, I would dig it off the jiggle test, but when you come up this high, it's still reading. That's usually going to be a piece of foil or a piece of aluminum. So we'll try another piece of trash. This Coke can. That's reading 10 cents all day long. You set it down on there, this thing lights up. When you come up high, still reading. You can guarantee that's a Coke can. So, of our 3 tests, the only one it passes is the Passover. The jiggle test, it holds pretty steady at that penny and 10-cent piece, but it fails that test miserably. So, you wouldn't want to dig that one at all. Then you've got this pull tab. And it's calling it between a penny and a pull tab. Now, you hear that? It's going way down the spectrum. It passes this test. You'd want to dig it on the height test. You know it's not a can. It's coming in as a penny or pull tab, but this test fails miserably. It actually goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. So this one you know is not going to be a good dig. And the last one we'll do is this bottle cap.
You haven't done this one.
Okay, we'll do that one too. That's a twist-off cap. Says it's a penny. Passes this test. Passes that test. See what it does on the jiggle. It anchors right in there. That little cap is going to get dug up every single time because there's no way to tell if you're dealing with a quarter or a cap, at least in my experience. The only way this doesn't pass with flying colors is that it anchors between a penny and a dime. It doesn't call it a penny. It calls it somewhere in between. So that's about the only way you would think not to dig this. But I'm going to tell you, I have this because I dug it. I'm always going to dig that sound, every time. And one last one. Here's your old pop-off bottle cap. That's coming in again. Between a penny and a quarter, a lot of fluctuation there. It passes on the height test, so it's not a can. Passes on this test, looks like it's going to be a coin. Now this, it doesn't pass at all. It's dropping down to foil, iron. It doesn't pass that test at all. So if you get some of these tests and you learn the area that you're working in, I wouldn't dig that. I wouldn't dig that. I might miss something, could, but I'd be pretty sure that's going to be a piece of trash. Because when you do your coins, I'll do a quarter again, just for example's sake. Because that's kind of what the size of that is like. When I do a quarter again, got similar size here. When I do this quarter, shows up as a quarter, passes the height test, never goes down to foil, not ever. It never goes down to steel. It's actually anchored. I could show you this on the, here. It is absolutely anchored between a dime and a quarter. There's no way I wouldn't dig that every time. So those are some things I've learned. I hope it helps. Make a few less holes in the ground when you're out there finding those cool things. Happy hunting.